Hello again. As I said the other day, I don't pretend to understand economics and high finance. The GPO, the old General Post Office, seemed to be an excellent service which enabled us to receive letters the day after they had been posted at the other end of the country. Every high street had a post office, and the postman delivered the first batch of letters early in the morning, typically around 8 or 8:30. It all seemed to work very well. It was a government monopoly, of course, but a very useful and practical one. The Queen's head was on all the stamps, which told us that this was an enterprise sanctioned by the monarch and run officially in her name, hence Royal Mail. There even used to be a government minister in charge of it all. Can anybody remember the Postmaster General? I admit it sounds like an official from a Terry Pratchett book, but he was a very important person. Anthony Wedgwood Benn held the post for a while in the 1960s, or Pony Ben as he later styled himself. Having seen almost every post office close down in recent years, we are now told that the whole thing is just not worth running anymore, and that it ought to be sold to a Czech businessman who's promised to take good care of our postal system and carry on delivering letters. I surely cannot be the only person hearing this news to start scratching my head in bewilderment. This is, after all, a Labour government, and if Labour are good at anything, it's nationalising things. Would they really not rescue the postal service and start running it again as an official thing? Quite apart from anything else, we all know perfectly well what the sequence of events is going to be if Royal Mail really is sold to an unscrupulous businessman. It will mean, in the first place, selling off as many sites and buildings as possible, sorting offices and so on, to property developers, along with any other land which is currently owned by Royal Mail. Then will come the redundancies. The man who will buy the business has promised there will be no compulsory redundancies until 2025. In other words, we'll start sacking people in about 6 weeks' time. There will be some ferocious asset stripping, and then after a couple of years, when the Royal Mail has been reduced to a hollow shell, it'll be sold back to the British government. Has it really been an improvement that we can no longer pop into a local post office and post a parcel? Was the end of the punctual early morning delivery of letters a better arrangement than the one we now have? Is this not one of those worthwhile services which we would like to see our taxes pay for, as used to be the case? There are more parcels being delivered in this country now than ever before. Receiving a parcel used to be for most of us a fairly rare event, but most households now get parcels delivered every day with stuff they've ordered online. Would the Royal Mail really not be revitalised and become a part of that trend? I don't think it's just because I'm old-fashioned that I object to the idea of seeing the Royal Mail being sold to an Eastern European businessman from what was once an Iron Curtain country. It just seems to me that such a service, used as it is to deliver everything from communications from the government and notifications from the NHS to birthday cards, should really be under public control rather than in the hands of an individual.